Okay, so Bitcoin, the 11th of November 2021. Now, this is the monthly. Now, what I'm going to share is my thoughts on how I think this might play out. Now, I'll cover it with you guys so you can maybe see why I'm seeing this, perhaps. So, what we got here is we've got this doji here, haven't we? Followed by this breakout candle here, which is like an evening star pattern, quite a bearish pattern. Now, what you want to see after these dojis is the directional candle, which in this case gave us some direction low. Right. Now, this is monthly. We've possibly got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as well, and these can correct deep, or 38.2, 50s, even 88.6. They can have a deep pullback. Now, what I'm seeing here is these wicks forming here above this all-time high. I'd like to have seen a candle close above on this monthly here, some body closes. Now, obviously it's not the end of the month here yet for November, so we've got to see what we've got to get there. So, but this is a monthly time frame, so this is the direction moving forward possibly for the next year. So that's monthly thoughts. Now, on the RSI as well. Now, the previous high, she was obviously a high swing here on the RSI. But this high we're currently printing is not. And it's starting to look like it could drop here. I'm just looking at this price action here. No close above. Still no close above. The wicks. And now fifth only needs to be a slightly high. Hang on, I need to move that third over. The fifth wave only needs to be slightly higher than the third. I know Elliott Wave's going to tell you it has to be higher. Now, a lot of Elliott Wave traders will also say a double top of a 3 and a fifth can still signal, higher after the correction. So this has made a high fifth. Now, if we look at the one's quite a small one, isn't it? It's not, obviously the 3 is going to be the big impulsive wave. So anyway, the 1 is quite a small wave. So if we do the 4th to the 5th, when you get a very shallow 1 like this, you don't often get a huge 5th. So I'm wondering if this is the 5th playing out. And this is monthly. So now I'm going to shoot back down to the weekly here. Zoom out a little bit. Now again here, look, we're getting a bit of support and resistance through the RSI right through here. It's not much above here, it's around this area here, look, but this candle is wicked, and it looks about where the where this res would have been. I think it's wicking this RSI res here, resistance here, so in the top here through here, look, and the double tops of this little pullback of the swing here. So I think if this plays out, I'm thinking it might play out, because again here we've got all these dojis here, look, on the weekly, a slightly higher fifth than the third, and we're getting these dojis. Look, we've not had a candle close outside of these dojis yet. There's no weekly body close outside of these 2 dojis for a directional candle, and I've got a very suspect looking RSI there, like it's going to drop. So there's my thoughts on the weekly. Now, what I've drawn in here is this 58k here is the low of this doji, look. So if this breaks that, so if price comes down here, because it's looking like it wants to drop a bit, if price comes down here, you see, hang on, let me zoom in a little bit more. See the top of the wick on this candle here, look, comes through here, this green one that I'm pointing at. It kind of lines up very tight with the bottoms of these wicks through here. So if I put in a bit of resistance through here, right on that wick of that one, and get it so it touches the bottom of that one. Can you see when I line the red, when I cover over it with my thing here, it lines right with my 58k here. So I think that 58k is a support that needs to hold. I think we're going to test it. I think we're going to see 58k, because we got damn close to hitting that 70k, didn't we? And that was an area where, if you watch my previous streams on the longer terms, on the longer time frame stuff, I'm not sure if I've left it up actually. I'll have to check. I think it's in my last one that I called 42 60k and hold for higher highs, which is this 70k. I think it's in that stream. So anyway, I think this 58k is going to be the key spot, and I think it's going to be tested, because if this goes, if this breaks, it's going to give us a direction out of this dojis. So indecision candles, double dojis, no body close outside of the dojis yet. We're still in the range of this doji here, and that 58k, close below that 58. Let me just bring that down ever so slightly onto here. Okay, it's more 57.6, I'd say, wouldn't it? But on this time frame, I mean 58 to 57.6, something like that. You've got quite a big bit of support that needs to hold. Otherwise, I think this is going to have a deep correction. I've been pondering over this for a couple of days. I've actually got some shorts on. Now, as you know, I've had some great trades through here. We shorted up through the top here on the first stream I done in April, a live stream. We called the top and we targeted this 30k. We took some bank off the 42 and we targeted the 30. We called it long in June around this spot here, 28, 27k, 28k I think it was I called it. I don't think it quite clipped it. I think it come down to about 29 or something like that. And if you look at the stream where I think it's one of my streams where I called the bottom, that was in June, you'll see that I was targeting up here. So, you know, look, I've called a lot of big moves in Bitcoin since I've been streaming, and I've called all the big moves, to be fair, and got the direction spot on. I've had a couple of trades along the way. I've had one trade where I was looking to stick a big short through here. I was expecting it to come down lower, but if you see the stream, we got out and closed around this 42 spot. Because of this ABC, we started to get in here on the lower time frames, and that's where I called the 42 to 50 long. So to 60 long. Sorry, 40 by 42, target 160k, and then hold through for high highs, looking at about a 70k move. Now we've got 69.3, so we've got pretty close to that 70k, and we put in a high fifth here. Now, okay, I'm just waffling a little bit, but what I'm getting around to is we've, you know, been pretty lucky. We called every move here. Now, my gut feeling on this one is if it breaks that 58 or 57.6, yeah, on a daily and closes below it, I think we're going to have to respect the 43 mark then, and that's going to be a deep drive down. And the way I'm seeing this RSI as well, there'd be a hell of a divergence here, wouldn't there, in this swing? Because this will be a low swing here if this plays out this way. So we've got a bit of divergence possibly backing it up if this 58k breaks with a close below. So if you're holding Bitcoin long and you're, I don't know, say you got in down here or you bought off this 30k, you're in a great spot. You haven't got to sweat nothing. You just want to see this 58 or 57.6 hold. You don't want to see any candles close below there. I think we are going to get quite a big correction. I'm not sure. You can see I've marked in some figures, possibly around that 29k again. Just purely because it's you know, I'm getting that gut through this RSI, these dojis, no direction. You know, I think this could be the fifth, and after a fifth, it's not unusual to see a 50% correction in the whole pattern via an ABC normally. And these and you know, a 50% pullback in the whole swing is in the whole fractal Elliott wave pattern. I'm talking from the 0 to the 5. Now, and that's just a rule of thumb. When you're looking for the ABC and looking for the C wave for the final completion of the pattern, or it should start to go long again. 50% is just a rule of thumb. That's, they can go a hell of a lot deeper. And you see I put in the 61.8 here. It lines up with the 61.8 as well, the bottom of this swing here, around 29. I think we should adjust that slightly and put us right on that 30k. Yeah. See, like I said, I've already put a short on. Now that's not to say I'm going to bank on that 30k just yet. But what I am going to do is, if I get to my target zone, which is this 58, I'm going to take some bank on this short that I'm in, and I'm going to hold a little bit. I'm going to take a bank, and I'm going to see if it breaks it. If it breaks it, then the little bit I'm holding, I'm going to be targeting 42 and 30, 43 and 30. I'll be taking another bank around this area here. If we look through here, look, swing of this high, swing of that low, bit of support. Yeah, there's going to be a bit of support through this area here, like the 38.2 on this fib, roughly, because of this push up here, rejection, breakout, pullback, and rejection again. So this area here is going to become a bit of support in the future if it does this. Now, I don't know if you've watched many of my streams or not before, but I like to try and fill in the blanks the best I can. Now, if this plays out how I'm thinking it might play out, and like I say, you've got no reason to worry about your shorts, your longs at the moment, because this just wants to hold here. So you've got this to play with, this spot here. This could be another load up spot. This could be a spot to go long again. That's why I'm taking some profit around the 58 on this short that I'm in. I can't call what it's going to do there. This could be a 1, 2, 3, and it could do another 4 on this swing up through here. This could be a 3. We could see a 4 in here, and then it could take off and do a 5th and target around 80,000, possibly higher, 90,000. So, but I think this is the key spot. So, possibly a spot to get long, but if it breaks, it's going to be a short. So that 58,000, if it breaks, and you got, it's not financial advice, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my opinion of it, but if I was holding a substantial amount of coin here and it breaks this 58, I personally would remove quite a lot and bank and look to buy again at a better spot. I think this is key. Now, like I said, I've got a short in. This 58k is going to be my target one. If it breaks through the 58, I'm going to hold some through it. So I'm not going to close all of my profits out if I get my target. I'll possibly close 70% out, because like I say, this is normally I like to move 50% and let 50% run. But in this case, I'll take 70% if it gets to the 58k and let 30% run through in case it does what I'm thinking it could do. Because if it comes down to this area here roughly, and gives our ABC in here like this, then that's also going to be a bearish head and shoulder here, isn't it? So let me fill these in and show you what I mean. I probably should have done this with a slightly thicker line, but that's going to become, the 70k is going to become, or the 69, whatever it is, the head. And this 43 range here, I wouldn't ignore this 32, 38.2 of the whole larger pattern as well, because these fibs can be very accurate when using them with Elliott wave there, especially when you've got the 5th, a potential 5th. I think it's the 5th. I can only go with what we got on the charts at the moment, but if that turns out to be the 5th, then these fibs are going to come into play. So move stuff over to the right here. And as you can see, if this 58 breaks and we come down to this 45-ish, get a possible C wave. So we get the 5, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the A, then the B. I think this is only going to create a much smaller, so this is only going to be part of a larger ABC as well. I think the pattern, if it does play out, I'm thinking, I mean, this is going to be way too much in the forward, but in the moving forward, but I think it's going to be more like this. Now that's going to be really worrying, because that takes us down to the 18-20k that I was watching back when we were looking for shorts up in here. But we can safely say that this is just a projection of where it could go, right? And it's mumbo jumbo and it's crystal ball at the moment. We've got nothing backing this up yet, so there's no reason to call this as a target. It's price action that could play out, and it's going to be a long term down the road. I think this will be, I don't know. We're just going to have to see. We'll have to see how this plays out, because this 58 or 57.65 is going to be the key for me, because if that breaks, I think it's going to open the door to a run down to 45k. And if we come down to 45k, I think we're going to get a head and shoulder, and then we're going to see 30k. So, 50, 57, what is it, 58, this area here, like 58, for me that needs to be support, and it needs to push on for Bitcoin to maintain this bullish. So if we get a rejection, if it starts dojiing and then correcting, or some bullish price action around this 58, or it doesn't quite get there and it starts to turn, then Bitcoin's a green light for higher highs and go for your longs. My thoughts. I might even have some more long on it myself at that point, if I get the price action. But if we get to that 58 and we get a close below it, then I'm only looking at shorts, and I'm in a short now, and I'll be holding a little bit through here if I do get my target one. So there's my thoughts on Bitcoin for the moment. I think it's, heed the warning if you've got heavy bags of Bitcoin at the moment, because like I say, we've got these dojis through here. We've had no direction out of these yet. This RSI is looking a bit dodgy. No, not sorry, a bit dodgy. It just looks, if it does drop here, I think it's going to play out as a deep ABC, and it could go this way. So it's a bit doom and gloom, I'm afraid, from a Bitcoin, and I've spent a bit of time on this trying to get my head around which way I think this is going to go. So even down on the daily, look, she's putting in the low swings in the RSI. Doji at the top. It kind of looks a bit like an evening star, doesn't it? And I noticed on the 4 hour, it's a nasty cup and handle pattern right at the all-time high. The previous all-time high from April, May. Let's get rid of this RSI quick. So this blue line that I've got through here, look, if we zoom out, that's the all-time high. Look, I've clipped it right on the top of this wick. The previous all-time high. Right on the top of that wick there, look. That's the weekly. Now we go down to the H4. And you look where we're getting that consolidation right on it. Dojis and consolidation. This is looking pretty scary, isn't it? Because of the way this is all playing out. All these patterns are playing out. We've got the potential massive fifth, Elliott wave fifth, that could throw out a deep correction now. We've got all this consolidation around the previous all-time high, dojis and sideways. Don't rule out little whipsaws up and down before it shows its true direction. But I can see it's respecting this. So anyway, that is my thoughts for the time being. Yeah, so that's about it really. Like I say, watch that 58,000 or that 57.6 area. because I do believe that's going to become, you know, a huge spot. And if you're long, this is just something to watch out for. So if you've got, you know, huge longs on your or you've got a ton of coin, then just watch that 58 or 57.6. That's my advice anyway. And because if that goes, she's going to go lower. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll update as and when I can. Thanks, and bye bye.